Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I'm an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. Before the cracks become impossible to ignore, an emotional storm begins to gather around one of the most dependable couples in the Bold and the Beautiful. For so long, Eric and Donna seemed to have found the kind of love that had survived countless trials, finally reaching a place of peace after years of heartbreak, misunderstandings, and second chances. Their relationship appeared steady, built on forgiveness and unwavering devotion, making them one of the rare romances that fans believed could weather almost any crisis. But as tensions explode between the Logans and the Forresters, even the strongest bonds are beginning to tremble under the weight of divided loyalties. What once looked like an unbreakable marriage is suddenly standing at the edge of uncertainty, and the first warning signs suggest that a devastating split may be far closer than anyone ever imagined. The seeds of this growing conflict are planted during the June 29th episode, when long-buried secrets finally rise to the surface. Brooke Logan Forrester is blindsided after discovering that Donna Logan Forrester had known about Hope Logan Spencer's shocking decision to move her fashion house away from Forrester Creations and remained completely silent. The revelation hits Brooke like a personal betrayal, not simply because Donna kept a secret, but because that silence allowed events to spiral beyond anyone's control. Trust has always been the foundation holding this complicated family together, and now that foundation begins to crumble before everyone's eyes. Brooke's anger isn't fueled by misunderstanding alone. It comes from the painful realization that someone she loved and trusted chose not to warn her before everything changed. In that heartbreaking moment, the damage is no longer limited to business. It becomes deeply personal, threatening relationships that once seemed impossible to break. Donna never intended to create this kind of chaos, and the truth behind her silence is far more complicated than it first appears. She had desperately tried to prevent Katie Logan Spencer from setting these events into motion, hoping cooler heads would prevail before the situation reached a point of no return. Despite her efforts, Katie remained determined, and Donna ultimately found herself trapped in an impossible position. She wasn't celebrating Hope's decision, nor was she secretly plotting against the Forresters behind closed doors. Instead, she carried the heavy burden of knowing disaster was approaching, while believing that staying quiet was the least damaging choice she could make. Unfortunately, in a family already overflowing with suspicion and emotional scars, silence becomes its own form of betrayal. No matter what Donna's intentions may have been, those around her see only the consequences of what she chose not to say. As the truth spreads throughout Forrester Creations, the atmosphere quickly transforms into one of disappointment, heartbreak, and simmering resentment. Brooke's frustration grows stronger with every passing moment, while Ridge Forrester struggles to hide his own sense of betrayal. Together, they reach the painful conclusion that Donna's silence cannot simply be overlooked. The woman they once welcomed as family is suddenly viewed as someone who failed them during one of the company's most vulnerable moments. Their reaction is swift and unforgiving, as they decide Donna no longer belongs within the walls of Forrester Creations. The emotional sting of that rejection cuts deeply because it sends a chilling message. Loyalty to the family business outweighs nearly everything else. In an instant, Donna finds herself standing on the outside, watching doors close that she never imagined would be shut against her. Perhaps the most heartbreaking blow comes from the one person Donna believed would always stand beside her: Eric Forrester, the man who has loved her through countless ups and downs, is unable to defend her when the accusations begin flying. Rather than speaking in her favor or attempting to explain the impossible position she had been placed in, Eric quietly admits that he feels betrayed as well. His disappointment is written across his face, making the moment infinitely more painful than any angry confrontation could have been. Instead of shielding Donna from the family's outrage or offering excuses on her behalf, Eric gently but firmly escorts her out of the office himself. That silent walk out of Forrester Creations speaks louder than any argument ever could. For Donna, it is more than public humiliation. It is the heartbreaking realization that even the man she loves cannot stand beside her when family loyalties are put to the ultimate test. Being pushed aside so completely could change Donna in ways no one expects. After witnessing firsthand how quickly the Forrester family can turn against one of their own, she may begin seeing the situation from an entirely different perspective. The painful rejection could force her to question where she truly belongs and whether the Forresters ever fully accepted her in the first place. Those doubts may slowly draw her closer to the people who never stopped believing in her, Katie and Hope. If Donna ultimately chooses to stand with the Logan family instead, the emotional battlefield between the two powerful fashion houses would become even more complicated. Her decision wouldn't simply represent a shift in business alliances. It would symbolize a woman reclaiming her place among the family that never stopped being part of who she is. Such a move would send shockwaves through both families, raising the stakes in an already explosive rivalry. That growing divide would almost certainly spill into Donna and Eric's marriage, transforming professional conflict into deeply personal heartbreak. Every disagreement over business could become another painful argument at home, where love is forced to compete with loyalty, and family ties become impossible to separate from matters of the heart. The couple who once dreamed of spending the rest of their lives together could suddenly find themselves standing on opposite sides of an emotional war neither of them ever wanted to fight. Their home, once filled with warmth and security, could become another battlefield where difficult conversations replace comforting promises. The love they fought so hard to rebuild would be tested in ways neither of them ever anticipated. As resentment grows and outside pressures continue mounting, even the strongest marriages can begin to crack under unbearable strain. For a long time, it seemed as though Eric and Donna had finally earned their happily ever after. After overcoming so many obstacles together, they appeared destined to enjoy the peaceful future they had both longed for. But in the unpredictable world of the bold and the beautiful, forever is never guaranteed. A shocking divorce, something that once felt almost unthinkable, is beginning to emerge as a very real possibility if this bitter fashion house feud continues escalating. Every new betrayal, every divided loyalty, and every painful decision pushes them one step closer to a crossroads where love alone may no longer be enough. What once looked like a story of lasting romance could evolve into one of heartbreaking separation, leaving both of them to wonder whether the life they built together can survive the storm surrounding them. As the battle between the Logans and the Forresters grows even more intense, the future of Eric and Donna's marriage hangs in delicate balance. The emotional wounds opened by betrayal cannot simply disappear overnight, and difficult choices still lie ahead for both of them. They will be forced to decide whether their love is strong enough to rise above family loyalties, corporate warfare, and the painful misunderstandings threatening to tear them apart. Every conversation, every sacrifice, and every act of forgiveness will carry enormous weight as they struggle to preserve the relationship they once believed could survive anything. The coming chapters promise emotional confrontations, heartbreaking decisions, and powerful moments that could forever change the course of their lives. Only time will reveal whether Eric and Donna can fight through the darkness together, or whether this heartbreaking conflict will ultimately become the end of one of the show's most cherished love stories. The emotional fallout is only beginning, and what makes this unfolding drama so heartbreaking is that no one involved seems capable of escaping the consequences. Donna now finds herself standing in unfamiliar territory, caught between two families that have shaped her life for years. Every choice she makes from this point forward has the potential to deepen old wounds instead of healing them. The silence that once seemed like the safest option has now become the very thing threatening to unravel everything she holds dear. As whispers spread through the halls of the fashion world and loyalties continue shifting, Donna can no longer avoid confronting the painful truth that neutrality is no longer possible. She must eventually decide where her heart truly belongs, even if that decision comes at an unimaginable personal cost. Meanwhile, Eric is carrying a burden that few people fully understand. Although he stood with the Forrester family during the confrontation, that decision undoubtedly came at an enormous emotional price. His loyalty to Forrester Creations has always been deeply rooted in the legacy he spent decades building, but his love for Donna has been equally genuine. Now those two worlds have collided with devastating force, forcing him into a position where every decision feels like a betrayal of someone he loves. The disappointment on his face wasn't simply anger directed toward Donna. It reflected the heartbreak of a man watching his personal happiness become entangled in a family war that refuses to end. That internal conflict may continue growing stronger as the rivalry intensifies, leaving Eric questioning whether protecting the company is worth risking the woman who has stood beside him through so many chapters of his life. For Donna, the rejection from Forrester Creations may become a turning point she never expected. Being escorted out of the office by the very man she believed would always protect her leaves behind a wound that cannot easily be forgotten. Even if she understands why Eric acted the way he did, understanding does not erase the pain of feeling abandoned during one of the darkest moments of her life. Every memory of that heartbreaking walk out of the office is likely to linger in her mind, reminding her just how quickly acceptance can disappear when loyalties are questioned. Those painful emotions could gradually reshape the way she sees both the Forrester family and her place within it. Instead of continuing to fight for acceptance from people who no longer trust her, Donna may begin searching for comfort among the Logans, where she believes she will be welcomed without judgment. If that emotional shift takes place, the balance of power between the two rival fashion houses could change dramatically. Hope and Katie would undoubtedly find strength in Donna's support, not only because of her family connection, but because her departure from the Forrester side would symbolize a growing fracture within their opponents. Every alliance matters during a battle fueled by pride, ambition, and personal betrayal, and Donna's decision could become one of the conflict's most significant turning points. Her presence among the Logans would send an unmistakable message that the emotional damage inflicted by the Forresters has consequences extending far beyond the boardroom. What began as a disagreement over business strategy would evolve into something far more personal, dragging entire families deeper into a conflict that shows no signs of slowing down. The emotional lines separating loved ones would become sharper than ever, making reconciliation increasingly difficult with each passing day. At the center of it all remains the fragile love story between Eric and Donna. They have survived obstacles before, proving time and again that forgiveness can overcome even the deepest wounds. Yet, this crisis feels fundamentally different because neither of them is fighting against an outside force alone. They are also struggling against the expectations of the people closest to them. Family loyalty has become a powerful influence, capable of driving even devoted couples apart. Every conversation they share from this point forward will likely carry unspoken fears, lingering disappointment, and difficult questions about where their future truly lies. The foundation of their marriage is now being tested in ways that neither romance nor good intentions can easily repair. The uncertainty surrounding their future only adds to the growing emotional tension. Friends and family may continue offering opinions, pushing them toward decisions that satisfy one side while hurting the other. As outside pressure mounts, Eric and Donna could discover that preserving their marriage requires sacrifices neither of them ever imagined making. Sometimes love is strongest when everything is peaceful, But its true strength is revealed only when every reason to walk away begins piling up. Whether they choose forgiveness or separation, unity or division, their decision will leave lasting consequences for everyone around them. The future remains unwritten, but one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The battle between the Logans and the Forresters is no longer just about fashion, power, or business. It has become a deeply emotional struggle that threatens to destroy lifelong relationships, test enduring marriages, and force every character to decide exactly what and who they are willing to fight for before everything they cherish slips away forever.